The federal government will boost employment opportunities for Australians after the decision to allow 1,700 foreign workers onto the Roy Hill project sparked public outrage. But contrary to a growing perception, official statistics show the vast majority of applications to bring in overseas labour are not for plum mining jobs. Neil Woolridge reports.
Harry Katsiabanis has so much trouble finding drivers for his Melbourne taxi company, he's heading to Greece to find as many as 400 workers.
We looked at all avenues in Australia trying to get anybody local that wanted to drive. We found that to be very challenging and unfortunately we haven't been able to fill the gap.
He says part of the problem is financial because the state government hasn't allowed a fair increase since 2008. But he also says Australians can be job snobs.
I think the welfare system has a lot to do with it. We tried to recruit via the Salvation Army. We looked at Centrelink. We looked at every avenue we could and we just couldn't get people to come and be interested in driving a taxi.
In the mining industry, the pay might be better, but skilled workers are still scarce. Last week, it was announced 1,700 positions at Gina Rinehart's Roy Hill project would go to overseas workers. And now a new $6 billion coal project in the Galilee Basin is also expected to be staffed by foreign employees. That sparked outrage among politicians and unionists who argue that Australian workers are being bypassed for plum mining jobs.
And what, we can't get 7,000 workers for the next 5 years on the Galilee Basin? I mean, it is an insult to our intelligence to say they can't get workers in Queensland.
But the statistics tell a different story, that the skill shortage is broad-based across industries and states. Immigration Department records show the majority of 457 visa applications are from Victoria and New South Wales, whereas just over a third come from the resource-rich states of Western Australia and Queensland. And the industries lodging the most applications for foreign workers are construction, healthcare and services, with mining coming in fifth.
The mining industry is needing to fill critical skills gaps as it grows and it changes shape and it moves between states. And at the moment, Australia doesn't have the critical skills that are needed across our economy to meet the needs of all sectors.
The federal government will now set up a subcommittee to look at maximising employment opportunities for Australians. But Innes Willox is worried the fractious political environment could lead to decisions that hamper the ability of all businesses to find the workers they need, foreign or local.
The last thing Australia needs at the moment, as we try to work through the global economic crisis, is some sort of xenophobic debate within our country about where we get our workforce. It's vital that we appropriately skill up our workforce at home.
I think they're feeling the same way we are. You look locally, and if you can't attract local labour, what do? Do you shut the doors? Do you give up, or do you look for alternatives?
But for Australian employers, those alternatives might be shrinking as politicians now look to have their say on hiring decisions.